What's good? All right. So let's talk about what the Bible says. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Now, we call that the golden rule. And in the Bible, it says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So basically, treat people how you want to be treated. Now, Christ said this. A lot of people don't realize that the golden rule came from Christ. Christ was the one who said, treat others how you want to be treated. Now, we always look at that verse and we recognize that it's talking about how we're supposed to treat people. But what a lot of us don't recognize, that this verse implies self-love as well. This verse, treat others how you want to be treated, is also saying to love yourself. And we can say that because we know that Christ has not taught us anything that is evil. All he taught us was good. That's all Christ taught us was good. He taught us nothing evil. So he couldn't have been saying, if you want to be treated bad, if you want to be treated bad, treat others bad. He didn't teach us nothing evil. So he's saying, treat others good, which means you should want to be treated good, because he's saying treat others how you should want to be treated. Treat others how you want to be treated. So he's implying that you should want to be treated good. I hope y'all caught that, because he's not telling you. We know Christ wasn't going out saying treat people bad. We know that. That's common sense. He wasn't saying go out and treat others bad. He didn't teach us nothing evil. So he's saying you should want to be treated good as well. That's self-love. And see, a lot of people don't have that. See, we focus on loving God, and we focus on loving each other because we know that's what the Bible says. Those are the two most important commandments. It's to love God and to love one another. But you also need to love yourself, which is implied in the golden rule. Now, you can tell a person who doesn't love themselves. It stands out. It sticks out. One of the first obvious signs of a person not loving themselves is they don't love God. Now, the bottom line is, if you don't accept Christ, if you have rejected Christ, there's a fiery place called hell waiting on you. So if you don't love God and you don't accept what God has sent for you or accept what God has done for you, then you don't love yourself. You're throwing your life away. If you have not accepted Christ and if you don't love the Lord, you are throwing your life away. You're gonna die. So that's the main sign. And we got to stop sugarcoating this, y'all, and stop acting like, they just don't know no better. No. Look, it's one thing if you ain't never heard the gospel, but if you just reject it, you're gonna die. Simple as that. Now, that's one thing. Another thing is, when you got a person that don't love themselves, people who don't love themselves are miserable, man. I don't know if you ever met somebody who doesn't love themselves. But people who don't love themselves, man, they are miserable. They can have everything. They can have the best lives, the best job, big money, and still be so unhappy. Have you ever met somebody like that who seemed like they got it all, but this person is still miserable? Because there's no love there. There's no self-love there. Now, let me give you an example. Say you take a principal, for example, a school principal. You principal at one of the top schools. And this principal makes a mistake and does something wrong to somebody's child. Like anything. Put them in the wrong class or, talk to them the wrong way or whatever. And the parent goes to the school board on that principal, right? Now this principal, if he or she loved himself, they would learn from their mistakes and try to do better. But this principal might get mad and be vindictive and be like, I'm gonna treat this child any kind of way now. And then that principal gets reported again. Now your job on the line because you didn't love yourself. See, people who don't love themselves will sometimes put themselves in a compromising position. When you don't love yourself, you're going to date somebody who doesn't care about you and treat you any kind of way. When you don't love yourself, you'll ride around with drugs in the car. When you don't love yourself, you don't go to the doctor when you're supposed to. You know what I mean? It's just examples. People who don't love themselves can be so miserable. The Bible say you can have all the spiritual gifts, prophesying, laying hands, speaking in tongues. The Bible says you can have all these spiritual gifts, but if you don't have love, you have nothing. You have nothing if you don't have love. That's why in the end, Jesus says there's going to be so many people saying, Lord, I cast out demons in your name. I perform miracles in your name. But he's going to say, I didn't know you. I never knew you. You never loved me. You see, people can demonstrate love and still not have it. We have on this earth what I like to call an imperfect love or a fallen state of love, because we're fallen people. This world fell when Adam and Eve defied God in the garden. That's when this world became the world it is now. See, this world is not the world it's supposed to be. This world is the product of a fallen world, of a fallen mankind. And that's the truth. So the love that we have, see, the Bible says even sinners love each other, right? Let me show you the difference. I believe there's one love, but like I said, I believe that love can be tarnished and that it can be imperfect. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because the Bible says God is love, right? God is love. But the Bible also says the love of money is a pathway to all sorts of evils. That's what the Bible says. The love of money is a pathway to all. See, a lot of people think that the Bible say money is the root of all evil. That's not what the Bible say. If money was evil, Jesus would not condone us giving money to the poor. If money was evil. Money is not evil. The love of money is a pathway to all sorts of evil. So the love of money is not God. See, the Bible says God is love, but the love of money is not God. That's an imperfect love. That's a tarnished love. That's a fallen love. See, that kind of love ain't gonna get you in the kingdom. That kind of love ain't gonna make you take care of yourself or the people around you. See, when you love yourself, that's a good thing. But when you don't love yourself, there are side effects to that thing, and those side effects can hurt people around you. Remember the example I just gave about the principal? Remember the example I just gave about the principal? What if that principal has a family? Now she done got fired. See, apparently she didn't love her own children enough to do right. See, that's just what happens when people don't love themselves. They put themselves at risk and they put people around them at risk. Because there's no self-love, there's no self-value, there's not enough there. So I wouldn't want to be around somebody who I know does not love themselves. Now, I'm not talking about people who suffer from conditions like depression and stuff like that. This is somebody that's battling something. This is somebody that's going through something. You know, this is what the Bible refers to as lunatic. Not saying that the person is crazy, but saying that there's something mentally wrong there. There's something, they have a condition. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people who are perfectly fine, no mental illnesses or nothing, and they just don't give a dang about themselves. See, those kind of people, man, I wouldn't trust them. I wouldn't get in the car with somebody who don't love themselves. I wouldn't hang around somebody who don't love themselves. That's all I got for y'all, man. Love y'all. Be blessed. Be watchful. Love God and love each other.